everybody, what is going on? It's Cold Swaps here, filling in for Larry at 418 Gaming. He won't be joining us today. He's come down with the flu. Anyways, let's jump right into it here. I think the Calgary Flames are winning the cup.
Wait, why am I not a part of this?
Oh. I was just joking, bud. Hey, there you are. There he is, guys.
So you want to lead this? You go ahead, man.
Oh, I can lead? Okay.
You do it all, man.
Wow, putting me on the spot here.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, so in your mind, on the Flames, top 3 players. Go.
Including the recent pickups.
Yes.
I think
Who we'll get to in a bit.
Johnny Gaudreau,
Yes.
Dougie Hamilton,
Okay. Interesting.
and Monahan.
Okay. I agree with 2 of those players. Gaudreau, for sure. Almost had 80 points this year.
Yep.
Monahan, 63 points. And I had Giordano, who had 56 points. I would put him above Dougie. Prospect-wise or young talent-wise, Dougie is definitely there. I just don't really see why Boston didn't fucking re-sign him. Give him the money that he wanted. Maybe they saw something that, or actually didn't see something that Calgary saw in Dougie.
But what, like, isn't, like, to me, Giordano is like just he's on the decline right now.
I think he's only getting better.
You think so?
Yeah.
Like from some of the
He was
games I
amazing
watched,
last year.
I don't know. Like,
Well, he was injured last year for a good portion of it too. At least 20 games, I believe.
yeah. So.
Oh, great. Who is this fucking duster? Get bundied, bro.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, maybe he is on the up and up. Who knows?
There's Troy Brouwer, which is a offseason pickup for the Flames.
Yeah. So to mention quickly the pickups that they had, Troy Brouwer, one of them. Brian Elliott was a huge one. And then they also picked up Chad Johnson to back him up. And then they got Matthew Tkachuk through the draft. The only player that they really lost was Joe Colborne, who was a big body. He was a huge body, and he was actually coming into his own. But I guess they didn't see him as a part of this team for the foreseeable future. So makes sense to me. But yeah, they picked up a few solid players.
Definitely.
And
Definitely,
You
brother.
mentioned Vey
Yeah, Lyndon Vey from the Canucks.
and Shinkaruk or whatever.
And
Who was,
Alex Chiasson from the Senators.
what about Shinkaruk?
Yeah, Hunter. They picked him up also They picked him up not this offseason, but during the season.
Oh, okay, right.
During last season, they grabbed him. I believe they traded him for one of their not top prospects, but a good prospect. I forget his name. Anyways, so last year at home,
Yeah.
okay, they went 21-16-4. Okay?
Yep.
And I think I mentioned this in the Bruins series, but the difference between making the playoffs and not is 1 game a month. So at home they went 21-16-4, which is good. It's okay.
Yeah, it's not bad.
If they can shave off 2 of those losses and make it 23-14-4, 4 extra points, okay? And if I look at their last season, they finished about 20 points back of San Jose and 10 points back of Minnesota.
Wait, 20 back of San Jose?
20 points back of the 3rd place San Jose Sharks.
Jeez.
I mean, they could still make the playoffs, but I don't see them beating out the Sharks, Anaheim, or the Kings this year. So what they're going to have to do is beat out the other division. That's what it's going to come down to.
Well, you know what?
Me,
you're right. I actually see them taking that wild card spot because I think Oilers, Arizona, and Canucks are not there yet. And then if I look at the other division, it's Colorado, Minnesota, and Winnipeg. And to me, maybe Minnesota has a chance there. I think Colorado is actually they're not in a good spot right now. I don't think personally.
No.
So I actually think that Calgary has a shot right here of picking up that wild card spot. Especially if there's like a big gap between the top teams and the lower teams, you know?
Yeah,
if there's a big
sure.
gap, then I think they got a good shot.
One thing, yeah, and I really think it comes when they're playing in the other team's barns.
Right.
Last year, dude, they went 14, 24, and 3.
Oof.
That is fucking terrible.
Yeah, that's below average. That is subpar, my friend.
If they could have gone 500 on the away games alone, they would have made the playoffs.
Man. Well, you know, it is what it is. You put last season.
Last year.
It's in the rearview mirror. You focus on the upcoming season. I mean, they made the playoffs 2 years ago, didn't they?
Yep.
So who says they can't do it again?
And they're a fucking fun team to watch.
I love watching them, man. When the Leafs play them in Calgary, one of the games I have the most fun watching, no matter what.
Oh, for sure.
Elliott. Well, speaking of that, Elliott replaces Hiller as the starter now. I think that's a huge pickup.
Hundo P, buddy.
Took you a while there.
I'm trying to think of how Elliott did last year with the Blues. It wasn't that good, eh?
It wasn't great, but he was splitting starts with Allen. In the playoffs, I think he was amazing. I think he was their backbone there. During the year, he had a rougher year, but you know, when you're sharing the net, it can't be easy, man. It adds pressure. No. I look at Bernier Reimer. Both of those goalies were better than the records that they showed. But splitting the crease, knowing that if you lose, you might lose your starting job. Like, it might be gone for the rest of the season, depending on the goalie.
If you make a mistake,
that's rough.
You might never get it back. So,
and that takes a toll on a goalie, you know, like especially an older guy like Elliott, who wants to be the starter. Like, he knows that he has the skill. He's proven. Like, you get, you know, to be playing second to a young guy who's just breaking into the league. Like, man, that takes a hit. So, so I think right now, the biggest focus for Calgary, you got to sign Gaudreau and you got to sign Monahan.
Yeah.
I mean,
Monahan, I think, is at $6 million.
Yes.
I believe they signed Monahan last year.
Like for no. Monahan's still getting less than $1 million right now.
Okay.
He's still on that. Like, I guess it was like a bridging contract. Is that his? When did he get into the league?
Was it 3 years ago?
I think so. I think this is the big contract coming up. Is that? And Gaudreau is also making his entry level contract money. So looking at contracts,
and Gaudreau now wants $8 million.
Yeah,
he wants 8,
which is ridiculous. But do you know? I think the most ridiculous contract on this team is Michael Frolik gets 5.5.
Wow.
You know, to me, you fucking dump that off on the side of the road. You never talk to him again.
Yeah. Well, I just actually looked it up. Monahan signed a 7-year contract last year.
Last year?
So he's making $6.3 million. Yeah.
Last year or like this offseason?
I don't know. Was it this offseason? Maybe it might have been this offseason, but he definitely saw he's signed now.
Okay. So they signed him. Cause the website I'm using was like, it's been pretty accurate for everything, and it's talking about this year's off season. So I feel like they would have updated his that info. So I'm assuming it's like they signed him this year.
Yeah.
But there's the man of the hour right there.
Oh,
getting bundied.
And there's the other man of the hour.
There's my
Joe
man
wants
of the hour.
$8 million. Do you give it to him?
No. I bring it down to 6 max. I bring it down to 6, or I trade him. I'm not the type that's gonna be bargaining with players who think they're hotter than that. If anything, you know what I do? I try to come to terms with them. I try to sign them to some sort of bridging deal, kind of like what they did with PK.
Yeah.
You like, I sign him to, you know, I give him I meet him in the middle for 1 year, and I say, prove yourself to me. I give him goals. I say, if you reach this number, or you have a successful year, I'll give you your $8 million. Because I think Gaudreau.
What do you give him this year? 4?
I'd say maybe 4 or 5. I'm not going over that. Especially if it's a bridging deal where I might have to pay him $8 million if he comes through. I'm not paying him more than 5 for 1 season. And you say, listen, you're still young. Prove me that you're worth it, and then I'll sign you to that long-term, big money deal. Some guys, okay. That's the thing. I think players now, they have 1 season, they think they're worth, $10 million. Like, get the fuck out of here. Yeah. It's bullshit, It's bullshit.
But I do think it's not just 1 year for him. I think he is like a star. He is a star.
Yeah.
So
no, I agree with that.
I like your idea of a bridge contract for now.
Exactly.
1 year. Show me what you got. Make sure it wasn't just a fluke.
Exactly. And yeah, by the way, Monahan signed last August, mid-August.
Yeah.
So it was just a month ago. I didn't remember reading any of that. Yeah, that was a goal. That's a goal.
No way.
That's a goal.
You were
nah.
butt fucking my goalie there, bud.
No. So up front, I love the players up front. You got Gaudreau. Matthew Tkachuk is coming up. Michael Furland is a big boy. Brandon Bolig is a good guy, and they got Hunter Shinkaruk. Is he ready to play?
I give him. They're gonna play him half the year.
Yeah.
In the AHL and half the year.
Okay.
Up top.
Well, I mean that's a lot of depth on that wing, on that side.
I do think though, at fucking 6'2", 200 pounds, Tkachuk is gonna be there.
You think so?
He's making this team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really do.
All right.
I think teams passed on him.
He had a fucking good year last year.
107 points.
Playing with my boy.
That's fucking crazy,
Playing
dude.
with my boy, dude. Oh, yeah, sick. On the other side, they have Troy Brouwer. They have Michael Frolik. They have Chiasson, the Ottawa boy, and Bouma. I don't know who the...
Lance!
Bouma was, he's not a big household name guy, but he'll do his job.
No.
And then down the middle, they have Monahan, Backlund, Bennett, Lyndon Vay, and Matt Stajan. They got a fucking deep center core. So they're up front. I think they're set, man. That's why, to me, it's their top 12 or their top their top 4 lines are going to be the ones to bring them to a wild card spot. I think they have the skill there. Then you look at the defensemen. They have Dougie Hamilton, Jokipa, whoever that is, and England. I don't know if I talked about this in this episode in the shootouts, so I'm saying it again. TJ Brody, Mark Giordano, Dennis Weidman, and Ladislav Schmid.
I think they have some definite proven guys on the back end who's going to really help them, along with Brian Elliott.
Brian Elliott's the key guy right there. You build a team from the crease up, right? You go from the net
basically.
up. And I think right now they have the goaltending, they have the defensemen, and I think up front, I think they're as complete as a team as they could hope for. They don't have like a Stamkos or a Crosby or a Ovechkin, but they got some decent players.
Yeah,
I think they have younger guys who, if they play as a team and they work together, they have a good chance of having an impressive season. So I look forward to seeing Calgary this year.
Yeah. No, they're always a fun team to watch. They're always they're close games, I find, with Calgary. It's a bit of, they have a mix of speed and skill and toughness. Like you said, Furland, man, he's a tough cookie. Bolig, he's a big body. Giordano likes to throw his weight around.
You need those to protect the young guys, right? A guy like Gaudreau.
But they also have the young, skilled guys like Gaudreau, Monahan, Dougie Hamilton.
I think they have a pretty complete team. And, you know, I think if you have to give a letter grade to their rebuild, I give them like a solid like B+, A-. I think they're just missing, because they never really finished like dead last, you know? They didn't get that first overall pick, second overall pick. They had to, they've been settling for like a 4, 5, 6 pick for a couple of years in a row.
Which isn't fucking terrible,
it's
you know.
Not terrible,
they're gonna be in the show at some point.
But you're missing that like that extra, like, you know, all-around player who's gonna be able to lead a team, put the team on his shoulders himself. A guy like Gaudreau, yeah, sure, he can do a lot of damage, but I feel like a player like Gaudreau is easy to stop. If he's your main guy and they decide to put 2 guys on him, I don't think he's getting through those 2 guys. You know what I mean? Whereas a guy like you know, obviously like a Ovechkin or like a Patrick Kane, man, you put 3 guys on him, he could probably still outmuscle you.
Oh yeah.
They need like a big skilled player. Like to me, Monahan, like he's a big guy.
I think Monahan can be that player. He's just not it right now.
Exactly. He's as close to that player as they'll get. And you know, it's all right. It's not a bad thing. But maybe once those players get a bit more experience, they're gonna have,
of course,
a hell of a squad.
Yeah.
In terms of contracts, I mean, Dennis Wideman, 5.2. I think he's earned that. He's a big, you know, stay-at-home defenseman. He can score some goals. He's not a PK Subban, and he's not as agile, but you know, he'll do the trick. I think on the back end. I think he's worth that money. Obviously, they got Matt Stajan. 3.8 to me is pretty good for a centerman that's been around the league for as long as he has. For them to have him for less than $4 million, you know what? I'm jumping with that I'm jumping on that contract all day. Then they have, you know, obviously the big signing of Monahan. They're gonna have to deal with Gaudreau. I say again, bridging deal with Gaudreau. You bridge him up, and you give him some goals. You give him some expectations to try to achieve, and if he's able to get it, you give him the number that he wants. You know, but you don't give him higher. You know what I mean? You don't.
No.
You don't say, well, listen, you're like you got you reached the expectations we had for you, and then all of a sudden he turns around and says, well, now I want 10 million. Then you know, you say, hey, chump, suck it. You're getting 8.
I don't think they actually say that, but yeah.
You say chump. If you use the word chump, he'll understand.
Getting your chump change.
So yeah, I think that'll be interesting to see. Dougie Hamilton's at a 5.5 contract. Do you think he's worth 5.5?
Not yet.
No.
No.
You think
I think
it's too much?
I think max 4. He's only 24.
Something like that, yeah.
He's had some good year. I think his best year was in Boston. But I honestly think the Bruins that year were much better than the Flames.
Oh yeah, I agree.
I don't think he's exactly proven himself to be a $5 million player or more. Give him this year and maybe the next year, and then you know what? If it doesn't work out, maybe consider trading him for you know, maybe a top end forward. Because I do think he is a real talent, but I just don't think he's worth $5 million right now.
He's making more than Giordano. Giordano only makes 4.
Yeah.
Which, like, to me, that right there doesn't make sense. And that's why, to me, I'm ranking Dougie as their top guy, because I think they're putting more faith in him than they are, you know, in a guy like. If they have the choice right now to keep a player and get rid of one, I think, you know, the fact that they're willing to pay him that much, even though they acquired that contract, didn't they?
Yes.
Like, either way, whether you trade for a guy knowing that's his contract or you sign him to that, you're saying he's worth that much. Or else you go the other way, or you get the team to eat some of that contract a little bit, you know? So, like, in my opinion, I think they're putting a lot of stock in Dougie Hamilton's future, and they think he has a lot of potential. Because you wouldn't be paying him more than your top D. You know what I mean?
No. I also think, though, Giordano he was signed before Dougie came in. like 2 or 3 years ago. So I think
he took a
I think he's
salary
gonna
hit
be
for the
due.
rebuild. You think?
No, I just think he's due. I think he's due for another contract. I'm gonna look it up in a sec here once this game ends, or we get a face-off. But I really think Giordano is their best D, not just because he's their captain, but he had 56 points last year. That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot, but I mean, he's playing first line minutes with a solid first line. I mean, don't points come automatically when you're a first line defenseman?
Well, didn't he play with Dougie? Didn't Dougie play first line with him?
Did he?
I think so. But also, you know what? There's two things. Giordano had a lot of power play minutes, but he was also injured for a significant part of the year. I believe his was it his arm or his leg?
I think his leg.
Kind of kept him out. Let me look at Giordano contract.
Cause they're gonna have to sign Sam Bennett soon too, right? Probably next year.
Yeah.
Oh, good rep.
Trying to go to Bennett. Calgary's carrying through along the board.
30 seconds. I need one here. Oh, killed him. Oh, pass it against the boards. Giveaway central.
Oh my God, Furlan, get your ass up, boy. Get him.
Fake.
Come on, baby.
Trip.
No. All right, so Flames signed defensive Giordano to a 6-year contract in August 2015.
So that was, so he's not even close.
Yeah.
He's got money.
Okay, so what happened was, he was leading the NHL in defenseman with 48 points, 11 goals, 37 assists when he sustained a torn bicep February 25th.
Oh, his arm.
Yeah.
Who am I thinking of then? I know there was a D that broke his leg last year, like a big D.
What did I do? Oh yeah, I'm on the PK.
Yeah. All right. Well, is that it? Is
All right,
that
everybody.
Did we cover everything?
Yeah, that's okay.
Not bad. Not bad.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. That's episode 5, I believe. Trucking along, buddy. Oh boy, I'm tired. We're about 1/6 of the way here,
Me
so
too.
that's not bad.
All right. All right.
So thanks for watching, guys. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Check out Cold Sweat's channel on the old YouTube. And we're going to catch you guys soon with another Epperoonie.
Next is Carolina.
Oh, Carolina. Carolina.
Sweet Carolina.